So, guys,
Facts.
let me ask you this question here. Now, this is totally off script. This is me coming off the top of the dome, and I just want to know because you guys are very smart individuals here. Why do teams that are just not very good, the Raiders, let's take the Arizona Cardinals about 5 years ago, like all these teams, when they hire head coaches, they are so quick to say you aren't performing up to our standards after they've been bad for so long. Why do you think they consistently like axe the head coach after a year or a year and a half, Wayne?
I think that there's an expectation when you take over, right? I mean, they're cleaning the slate. You get to start again from scratch. And if you're starting again from scratch, then you should be able to be successful. But the reality is that that's only on paper because the reality is you're not starting from scratch. You're starting with the last guy's roster, and you've got to clean that up and you've got to coach that up. You've got to bring in guys who make it a better team. And by the time you start to get a little bit better, they're like, oh, you were 500 last year. You're out of here. Yeah, but we were 1-16, 2 years ago.
Right.
You got to give me time to build this. And it's one of those systems where everyone wants the next Sean McVay, right? Everyone wants the 31-year-old coach who's going to come in and go to the Super Bowl in his first season or whatever it is. And it's just those guys don't come around very often. And even Sean McVay isn't what we thought he was right off the bat because we thought he was going to be in every Super Bowl from now until infinity. He's not.
Yeah.
So sometimes you hit lightning in the bottle, sometimes you don't. And when guys don't, which is more often than not, they get the axe. And it's unfortunate because I'm sure there's a lot of really, really good head coaches that never get the opportunity to actually show how good of a head coach they could be.
So, Combs, let me ask you this question. In a high school and college ranks where I'm at, they basically give you 3 to 4 years, a full cycle of freshman up to senior to really say, hey, this is what the program is going to be. They kind of give you that 3-4 year span. What do you think a legitimate span in the NFL is to really get your guys in there, your team in there?
Well, I think a legitimate span, it really just depends, right? Like, what situation are you walking into? Are you Josh McDaniel walking into a team, that just added Devontae Adams and had an offense that was supposed to erupt, and you were brought in because of your offensive, prowess? My problem with coaches when you bring them on, right, is a majority of coaches. I'm not going to say all, but a majority of coaches, their first 3 or 4 years at a program, no matter whether it's NFL, college, baseball, hockey, wherever it is only as good as their front office is, right? Are they given the tools to be successful? We talk about it all the time, with Justin Fields. We get into that argument all the time. Like, is Justin Fields really as bad as his quarterback rating would suggest, or is it the fact that he just doesn't have any weapons? Well, it's the same thing with a head coach, right? If they're not drafting to your style, if they're not drafting guys that you can coach or guys who are going to fit your scheme, then you're just set up for failure. Now, there are some coaches that can come into a situation. You look at guys like I'm trying to think of some. Look at Brian Daboll right now with the New York Giants, right? Who in their right mind? Which one? Raise your hand right now on this platform if you thought the Giants would be 5-1 after Week 6.
I did not say they're going to be 5-1, but I thought they were going to be an 8 or 9 win team. Yes.
Right. But 5-1 after Week 6, you would have been like, yeah, probably not. Yeah, especially when you look at their schedule, right? Going to London, playing against Green Bay, then coming back home to play against the Baltimore Ravens. There's no way you would have thought 5-1 after Week 6. But Brian Daboll has gone in there and he has made those guys believe in what he's doing. Now, I don't think he has a franchise quarterback necessarily. I don't think he has a wide receiving core that is something to, write home about. I don't think he has a defense that is anything to write home about. And I don't think he has an offensive line but he has guys who believe right now. They have confidence, right? It's the same. You start looking over here in Chicago, with Matt Eberflus, and they haven't given him anything that fits his scheme. And he hasn't gotten the guys to believe in what he's doing. So you've got two different scenarios, two guys who are rookie head coaches in the NFL, but one is successful and one isn't. So
Thank you for checking out that Man Hour clip. Be sure to hit the subscribe and like button and below, and of course share this with a couple friends. But if you like what you just saw, click right here to check out our latest video, and of course click right here to subscribe. And as always, Man Hour Nation, rise up.